Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining us from. This is the PAPAJO Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. I really appreciate you all being here today. It is, what is today? Today is Tuesday, March 15th. Yeah, fun times. If you are in a corporation, today is tax day, by the way. Anyways, yeah, appreciate you all being here. Do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, share this out on your socials, get other people in here. I would greatly appreciate it. Help people grow, help the channel grow. If you like the content, subscribe, tick that bell, and then, of course, smash those likes. It helps other people who look for this type of content to be able to find this type of content. Anyways, yeah, I would greatly appreciate it. It has been an interesting morning for me personally. I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It has been very, very crazy. Hopefully it has not been as crazy for you all. But if it is, I'm sorry. Anyhow, those of you who do know, I have been in the crypto space for a while, and I do these two shows. I do two shows. I do this one at 12:30, and I do one at 4:30. That is a Patreon show. It is linked in the bottom, scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. It's also linked in the description of the video. In that, we talk about things that would typically get a video removed, typically get a video banned, or entire stupid channel deleted. So that is why that's there. I know it's $5 a month. Those of you in there, it does mean a lot to me. It helps the channel out, but it also gives me a space to be able to have an unfiltered conversation with you all about subjects that typically they're harder to talk about, especially out here. You have to really tiptoe out here, but in there, it's a lot easier to do that. So if you are watching live, do me a favor, pop into the live chat and say, hey, just let me know you're there. Or if you're watching on another platform, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, just say hi, smash the like, whatever. It'll pop up on the screen here for me to be able to say that. So, and what I'll do is I'll pull you up on the screen here in just a minute. Anyways, with that, there's one other thing I was going to talk about. Oh, yes, two things. Those of you who do know, I do have one-on-one consultations that I offer. That's linked in the description of the channel here as well. That's for anyone who wants to get into crypto, anyone who needs technical assistance with anything, anyone just general questions, want to talk, whatever. If you also want to help the channel out, there's the Crypto Confidential. Crypto Confidential is a space where a lot of different people get to come together and have a conversation. It's also access to information and different types of trading stuff, different types of crypto related, living your life, that kind of stuff. Very unique environment, a very special group of people who actually bring a lot to the table, the content that you really aren't going to find anywhere else. Anyways, it is definitely worth the investment. I highly recommend you all check that out. But with that, I will stop with all that stuff. So, let's see. All right, so let's jump into, let's see who's here today. We got Daddy-O. Anybody else see Pelosi's presser? OMG, who is she? I have no idea. Drop that link in here for me, and I'll take a look at that. I haven't had a chance to. Like I said, today has been very crazy. Very, very crazy. Anyways, let's see. We've got Tom. Good morning. What's up, brother? Good to see you. We've got Lithia. Good morning. How are you? Kim, if it'll work. There you go. Good morning. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Open mind to get Bitcoin. What's going on, brother? It is good to see you, man. It's been a while. Hopefully you are doing well. Let's see who else we got. Joanna, what's going on? It's good to see you. Appreciate you popping in here today. We got Crypto Disposition. Good morning. How are you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, if you're watching live, pop in, say hey. If nothing else, just say hey. Definitely love having you all here for sure. Anyways, with that, let's jump over here. I forgot to tee this up. Hang on. What we got here? I haven't even looked at this yet. So let's take a look at what's going on in the markets today, shall we? Pop over here. Now, I had someone comment the other day. It was a very, very unique comment that they really appreciated how I don't just do the technical analysis or just look at the charts. I don't know how to read these very well. But I can generally connect the dots between what's happening in the world versus what's going on in the markets versus what's potentially coming. It's not all roses for what it's worth. Got a lot of people out there who are pumping and dumping, and all these people out there looking. They get into a coin when it first comes out, and then they use their channels to pump up a coin. For what it's worth, and some of you know this, those of you who definitely my regulars, y'all know I do this. I don't hold some of the coins that we talk about. They're good projects, but my eggs are in different baskets. That's not going to stop me from talking about those other projects. I do talk about some of the ones that I am in, but not as much. I don't want to use the channel to do that kind of stuff, I'll tell you some of the really cool things that are going on with these different projects that I'm in, but I won't harp on it every single day, that kind of stuff. You'll see some of these other channels do. And that's fine. That's prerogative. That's what they want to do. By the way, thank you to my amazing son and my wife for bringing this up. I really do appreciate the coffee for sure. They're going to music. Rush to make me coffee right before the show. It's very, very amazing. I am a blessed man. I am. I have my family loves and supports everything that I'm doing with this, as do I with them, what they're doing. Coffee is a very nice touch. Very much so. Thanks, babe. And thank you, dude. Appreciate it, little buddy. So I wanted to point out today, I noticed this just a minute ago. Bitcoin is down for 502. NASDAQ is up 487. 590 or 495. You see the difference? Very close. Very close. I find it really interesting. Anyone else find that interesting? I find that very interesting. Very interesting to me. What's also unique is the NASDAQ has also been really being hammered recently. So let's look at gold and silver. Gold, it's on an uptick today. Interesting. Although it's been slammed down from its high, this recent high, excuse me. I don't know if that's their most high. Its highest high. I don't know, whatever. I don't follow it that closely to know. Silver is also basically doing the same thing. You all know that silver is manipulated, gold's manipulated, right? That there is 5 trillion ounces of paper silver or something like that trades on a daily basis, but just changes hands. There's not that much in the world, let alone, out of the ground. Let's just be honest. That's not real silver. Okay, that's what derivatives are, by the way. It's paper silver, it's a derivative. It's trading on something without trading on something without the actual underlying assets. It's very, very different. I find that unique, very different, very interesting. These are very, very close in price and very, very close in their markets. It's almost like they're trying to even it out. I wonder why. So, on this channel, we talk about a whole bunch of different things. And those of you who are regulars, I talk about economics, specifically around inflation. I talk about general stock market. I talk about different commodities sometimes. I talk about gold, silver, etc. You definitely know I talk about cryptocurrencies and different related assets, but I also talk about blockchain technology, underlying technology underneath it. And I have some experience from a high level architecting different things. We'll call it connecting the dots for the business to be able to use the underlying technology. So when I look at these things, I'm not just looking at their prices. I want to know what's going on underneath. I want to know the project. I want to know who's building that project. I want to know the team behind it. And a lot of these different projects that I talk about, I have at minimum researched who these people are. Some of them I have met and spent time with. And I definitely do spend time with them. Think about the Divi project, right? Some of you have met some of their leadership. Some of you have spent time with some of the leadership. It's a great team. I'm working on trying to get to meet some of the team behind Matic. I'm trying to meet some of the people, or Polygon. I'm working on trying to meet some of the teams behind Data and Soul and all these other different things that we talk about on the show, that you guys bring up or talk about in the channel. Speaking of channels, I mean in Telegram, and if you're part of the Patreon, there is a Telegram channel that you are all welcome to join if you'd like. It's free for pretty much any discussion topic, but right now we're kind of on current events, if you will, what's taking place in the world. And I love it that you all, those of you who share in there and talk about different things, just sharing memes, sharing articles, whatever. It's great. It's bent on the way the Patreon is set up. The way it's set up is so that we have the discussions about some of those topics. So let's take a look, though, at what's happening with the Federal Reserve right now, right? This week, they're supposed to be having a conversation about the interest rates. So, again, mainstream media, and they're telling you what to think. Here's everything the Federal Reserve is expected to do at its meeting this week. Key points. I won't drain the whole article because it's pretty long, but some of the key points here. The Federal Reserve meets this week, those of you didn't know, and expected to begin unwinding the massive economic help it provided during the pandemic. So those of you who aren't aware, one of the things, not all of it, but one of the things the Federal Reserve has been doing since the start of the pandemic is, or I like to call it the hunger disease, and those yummy cookies that they make everyone eat, or they were trying to make everyone eat, didn't that just disappear? They got to start World War III to get your mind off of that. Don't lose sight. Or what about the Durham report that named people? Or what about Maxwell and all the stuff that was going on there? That just vanished. I can't even hardly find any information on it, that kind of stuff anymore. It's vanished. Gone. Kind of makes you wonder. Well, I can find it. I'm talking about open sources where other people can find it. I know how to find that stuff. I need to probably go build another Linux box and go do that. I just haven't had time. Do these shows every day, work full time, have my business, which is growing. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. So one of the things that the Federal Reserve has been doing to prop up the market to the tune of $120 billion a month, go check that. $120 billion a month. They were buying mortgage-backed securities and other related real estate products to $120 billion with a B per month. And they're going to stop or unwind doing that this month, supposedly. Okay. That process will likely start with an interest rate hike of 0.25 percentage point. But policymakers also will update their outlook on rates as well as GDP inflation and unemployment. I believe the rate hike when I see it, first of all, because if they raise that rate hike, that means that the money they're putting in to prop the market up, that they're printing, that has interest on it immediately, they have to owe that back with more interest. That is just how it works. If you don't believe me, go read The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's very, very fascinating. I had a conversation with someone last night, and he was a professor at a school, and he's like, I told everyone about the Federal Reserve according to open history, and then I talked about The Creature from Jekyll Island the next day, and then everyone was shocked at the truth about what's going on behind the scenes. Go read that book. Those of you who are, fantastic book. Absolutely recommend that book. I do it every day almost, don't it? Those of you my regulars are probably sitting there sick of me saying that, but you really need to read that. Anyways, at the last update, officials projected inflation would run 2.7%. Obviously, massively undershot. That was a massive undershoot. It was 7.9%. So almost flipped the numbers. Almost. Not even. Almost. If they say it's going to be something, reverse it. Very, very, very intriguing. We got Clint Westwood in the house. What's up, brother? That's good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, right. You're right. You're completely right. Tom, good. Or Steve, excuse me. I'm reading. What's going on? How you doing? Tom was right underneath there. Fantastic. You guys are amazing. Thanks for popping in. Really appreciate you being here. Let's see. So they're going to unwind this massive stuff. Well, that's just one of the many things that they've been doing, just so you all know. They've been doing that. They've been propping the market up, and now they're going to stop all of a sudden. Well, if the market's continuously rising, okay, if it's continually sitting at about where it's at, if it's continuing to do this whole thing, it's kind of fluctuating, just sitting there. It's very, very, very likely that when they stop propping up the market and the mortgage-backed securities, as we all know in 2008, was a very big problem. If they stop doing that, what's going to happen to the market? Logic should tell you it's going to drop. Okay. Well, because it's going to drop, because Feds stop propping it up, Bitcoin is probably going to drop, and all of the cryptocurrencies are also going to drop because there are institutional investors in those environments. Okay. They will pull all their money out into dollars, which is the most stupidest thing they could do because the dollar has no value, has no purchasing value. And all that's going to do is flood the market more with dollars. Just putting it out there for you. Think about that one. Joanna, thank you for bringing that up. Did y'all know that the Fed uses BlackRock and Vanguard indirectly, where BlackRock and Vanguard hold Bitcoin through MicroStrategy, MicroSaylor? Yes, actually, BlackRock owns, I don't know how much of a percentage, but it is a controlling stake, not a controlling stake, but a stake in MicroStrategies. BlackRock does. And BlackRock and Vanguard are competitors, but they're not. They actually own each other's stock. They're buddies. They're just spreading it around. Bandicoot, exactly. How's it? 401k going for you? It's not. 401ks are going away. People, when they start realizing that is an automatic way of keeping the stock market propped up, they're gonna freak out. They really are. That's why I'm an advisor with Viva Capital. They actually help people take their 401ks in the traditional market and put it into a crypto 401k or crypto IRA. Yeah. And they do a really good job with that, and they structure it appropriately. They're really the only ones out there that do it, I think, the right way, personally. But check it out. Viva Capital. Really, really good team there. Really good team there. Oh, fun times for sure. Let's just go back over here. Yeah, fun times. So they're going to unwind this. What's going to happen? It's going to drop. And as I've said before, all the other markets, including crypto, are going to drop with it because there are institutional investors in there. That's fine. But those of us who have been holding this for a long time are going to continue to hold on to it. We're not going to let it drop. When I say that, we are the firewall. I'm just going to accumulate more. And I know most of you are to do the same thing. What's going to happen? That's what they're doing. They're just panic selling, forcing all the weak hands out. And then they're going to buy at that lower dip to accumulate more. Bitcoin will stop falling, where the rest of the markets will continue to fall. People will notice that, and they'll jump in. What's going to happen at that point? You know what's going to happen at that point. It's going to be very uniquely interesting. The S&P 500 just hit a death cross. Why? It's good news for the stock market. This article kind of made me puzzle a little bit. And I'm not subscribing for this stupidity for what it's worth. So I'm only going to read the little expert here. S&P 500 has performed so poorly this year that it is now trading at a scarcely low level. That usually presents an attractive opportunity for long-term investors. The market benchmark down about 12% for the year. And death cross on Monday. That is when the index's 50-day moving average falls below the 200-day number, the 200-day moving average. It's very interesting. It's a signal. Yes, it's a signal that the market, when they do those crossings, that typically things aren't doing really well. They're not very healthy. They're saying it's a good thing, a good news, because it produces a good purchasing. No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all because of how many companies are in the S&P 500. So let's shift gears here. Let's talk about adoption, shall we? This is global adoption for what it's worth. South Korea's incoming president vows a big cryptocurrency push. He wants to basically bring back ICOs. Yeah, you heard me right. Actually, it's right here. Yuan, a former top prosecutor who emerged victorious last week in the closest vote for the top office of the country's history, I wonder how that worked out, has promised to allow initial coin offerings or ICOs as part of his broader cryptocurrency pledges. Interesting. So, he's part of the People's Power Party, the PPP. He has also vowed not to impose taxes on cryptocurrencies trading gains of up to 50 million, I guess, one, or whatever it is. Yeah, $40,000. Treating them as the same as stock winnings. Interesting. As ICOs are banned now, we have no choice but to issue coins in Singapore and other countries. Ventures and startups will be able to raise money easily from inventions if the ban is lifted. It's true. It's true. Very, very interesting. Very interesting observation. Very interesting way of doing this. Now, this was interesting here. We must reinforce the United States leadership in the global financial system in technological and economic competitiveness, including through the responsible development of payment innovations and digital assets, the White House said in a statement describing one of the orders objectives. So they're talking about Flashbang's executive order and how they want to actually bring this about. And this new guy here is all for that. Adoption is coming, people, in ways that when the governments start doing this, they're going to start doing their own CBDC is going to start doing CBDC, central bank digital currency. They're going to start actually, they're going to start pushing this type of stuff. Okay. They understand that the dollar is dead. They understand that the Federal Reserve, the system is dead. This net new system that has been created for humanity and by humanity, understand that the blockchain doesn't lie and that the blockchain allows for all of us to be able to do what we want with our lives. And there are things coming down the pipe, people. There are things coming down the pipe that are amazing. They really are. It's pretty cool stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to check in the chat real quick. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yep, Joanna, that's a good one to bring up. Zillow, does anyone know, or besides Zillow, does anyone know how Gates, China, BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. find the real estate? When someone's mortgage does not go through, the mortgage does not go through. I wonder why. That's a good point. Because someone else buys it up. That's an interesting one. Let's see, who else we got? Other questions here. That's a good one. Welcome to the show, by the way, Norik. Good to see you. Let's see here. Does government regulation erode the erratic value of cryptocurrency, which is decentralized? I don't think so. The reason being is because they can't regulate an already regulated system, in my opinion. They can't. Blockchain is an already regulated system, and they're not thinking about it as a technology. They're thinking about it as money, and they're thinking that it fits inside their little box. Well, here's the thing. It's technology. If today they say this is regulated, well, guess what? All they have to do is fork the code, change the code, and guess what? It's no longer what they say that is regulated. They're forgetting that entire piece. Also, the fact that it's decentralized and distributed. I don't like to use just decentralized because a decentralized system means it can be in 2 or 3 locations and it's considered decentralized. If you distribute it, it's literally everywhere. So, thinking about it from that perspective, no. I don't think that can change the cryptocurrency's value. I think that increases the value of it because it won't have any actual implications of it. All they're trying to do is say we can do all this stuff when they have no authority, they have no jurisdiction. It is a sovereign currency that belongs to individuals rather than a nation. It is an individual sovereign currency. Think about it from that perspective. I look at it as in we're all individuals. We're all sovereign individuals. Well, now we have a sovereign currency that we can use amongst each other peer to peer. We don't have to worry about it dealing with any other third party government and checking on anything else. Very unique. Very, very, very interesting perspective, I think. That's just my opinion, really. All right, cool. Let's jump over here. So this is a question I think that people need to also be kind of paying attention to a little bit. China's digital yuan could challenge the dollar in international trade this decade, fintech experts predicts. Now, pause right there for just a second. Show of hands who saw that Russia just made their ruble backed by gold, and China and India both followed suit. They followed along in that decision. If China's digital yuan or their CBDC is backed by gold, silver, or any other metal physical assets, you gotta kind of wonder. You gotta wonder. Yeah, they'll challenge it for sure. It already is. That's why the U.S. has set up an executive order to go and take a look at that, because they just lost that battle on the sovereign currency stage. China's digital yuan is set to challenge dollar's dominance as a currency of choice in international trade settlements, predicts author and fintech technology consultant Richard Turin. I don't disagree with that because it's a blockchain. It's easy. It's almost free. It's quick. It doesn't require a third party. Things like that make a big difference for international trade. China's been ramping up efforts to roll out the central bank digital currency or CBDC, and is currently far ahead of the space as compared to its global peers like the US. Dollar's gone, people. This is not financial advice on the show or legal advice or tax advice, but I've been saying that cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin and Litecoin, maybe Ethereum, Polygon, probably Divi, something like that, are going to be your exit strategies. It's going to be what people run to because they're not going to be able to get physical gold and silver to protect their purchasing power. No. They're going to go to Bitcoin. They're going to go to these currencies because it will protect their purchasing power. Nations are likely to look at alternative payment systems as part of a risk management exercise to reduce their current dependency on the dollar. Yeah. And I have been saying it. Bitcoin's on the world stage right now. Cryptocurrency's on the world stage right now because of what's going on with the sanctions. They can actually evade the sanctions entirely with cryptocurrency. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. Nothing anyone can do about it. And it's incredible to think about. I think this would work if it's backed by gold or backed by silver, which is kind of a scary thought if you really think about it. Very intriguing observation here. Bitcoin worth 1.2 billion leaves Bitcoin dollars, $1.2 billion leaves Coinbase in a sign of persistent institutional adoption. Coinbase outflows persist continued institutional adoption on Bitcoin. I hate this website. It pops down. It's so annoying. As a macro asset and analysis firm, Glassnode says. While Bitcoin 4-month bearish price action appears to have scared away retail level leveraged traders, institutions focused on their long-term horizons seemed unchanged. Okay. Oh, this website's so annoying. CoinDesk. Make the bar stay at the top. Leave it there, because if I scroll down, it pops. I hate that. Just make it stay at the top. You're a little trying to be too fancy, and it's annoying. Anyways, That's evident from the recent large outflow of coins from the US-based crypto exchange Coinbase. So basically, there's a lot of coins. A total of 31,130 Bitcoin left Coinbase last week, and highest single week outflow since 2017. Basically, people are pulling their coins off the exchange. They're not leaving their coins on the exchanges anymore. They are pulling them off the exchange and they're holding onto them. The past week's outflow has pushed the number of coins held on the NASDAQ listed exchange to a 4-year low of 640,500 Bitcoin. That balance held across all centralized exchanges has dropped to 2.5 million Bitcoin, the lowest number since November 2008. I have been saying this. The exchanges are going to have no liquidity. And when they have no liquidity, what happens? How are they going to actually fill the orders for people who withdraw their Bitcoin? If 2.5 million people bought one Bitcoin and then withdrew it across all exchanges, what happens? The price jumps intensely. And then you have the decentralized exchanges where you have people who will trade back and forth with each other. Do you understand now? Not only is the output of Bitcoin significantly decreased since its creation from 50 to, I think, what is it? 6.5, 12 right now? What is it? A while since I've actually looked at this. I want to be honest here. Let's see. Let's just use Google. Research. Great. So it's 6.25, right? Okay. I was in the ballpark. 6.25 every single block. So approximately every 10 minutes, 6.25 Bitcoin are released. And you have a massive flow of people across the world buying crypto, buying Bitcoin in particular. What in the world is going to happen? You have a supply problem, and then you have a demand increase like that. Bitcoin will most likely become either a reserve asset for the world, or it will become some sort of peg that everything else is pegged to. Kind of wonder, people. When we hit a market cap of, I think, like $6 to $8 trillion just in Bitcoin, which would be $600,000 a coin or more, you're going to see everything kind of level out and stable out because you won't be able to move the market as much. Someone wants to go sell $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, it won't really fluctuate too much. You got to think about it from that perspective, okay? This is coming down the pipe. I've been saying this is a liquidity crunch like we've never seen in any kind of market. That's why I've been saying the markets are all going to come down until a point. Those of us who hold on to Bitcoin aren't putting it out to be purchased by any of these companies or these individuals with massive amounts of fiat that they need to get rid of. It'll stop because there won't be anything else to sell. No orders will be able to be filled. So they'll put a buy order in for $1 million, and maybe you'll start seeing people let go of their coins. Because $1 million at that point won't buy much. Let's just be honest. Talk about it in gold and silver. What would the value be if it was tied to the value of gold or tied to the value of silver? Maybe not tied to, but maybe there's certain pieces of it that would make sense. Who knows? We'll see what happens coming down the road with that kind of stuff, right? Anyways, I have a meeting I have to jump to. A couple minutes late for it. Usually I'm on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I have a show at 4:30 every day. It's called my Patreon show. That's scrolling on the bottom of the screen right here. Grab that link, share it out on your socials, get other people to join if it makes sense for you. It is only $5 a month, and I hate the fact that I have to have freaking paywall there because, well, how do I have a conversation with people and have a place for you to have, be honest and open about stuff and have a real unfiltered conversation with everybody? Anyways, you all have a wonderful, blessed day. I will see you all at 4:30 this afternoon, as long as nothing crazy happens. See ya.